Co-founder of Be the Future. I'd like to ask you all to take a moment to think about a child in your life that you love. We're unleashing the power of families and educators to be part of rewriting our climate story. We've created climate edutainment for young kids that bursts with hope, humour, and playful action. I'm the mum of a 6-year-old, and I am deeply worried about his future. Many other parents are just as concerned. Did you know that 1 in 5 kids have trouble sleeping because they're worried about the environment? Families are overwhelmed and they don't know where to start. 1 in 3 parents would love to teach their kids more about climate change if they had the right tools and ideas. I've chosen to give up a corporate career at PwC to make this happen. We've created multi-sensory climate edutainment for kids 4 to 7 years that bursts with hope, humour, and playful action. Our solution is unique. Rather than drive endless consumption, we use creative design and materials to encourage sharing. Rather than build eco-awareness that leaves kids anxious, we spark playful action. And rather than focus on one medium, we use multi-sensory edutainment that meets kids where they're co-founder of... Hi, I'm Sally.
Handheld check 1, 2.
kids that burst with hope, humour, and playful action. I'm the mum of a 6-year-old, and I am deeply worried about his future. Many other parents are just as concerned. Did you know that 1 in 5 kids have trouble sleeping because they're worried about the environment?
Lectin mic check. Handheld 2 check. Handheld 2 check.
I'm the mum of a 6-year-old, and I am deeply worried about his future. Many other parents are just as concerned. Did you know that 1 in 5 kids have trouble sleeping because they're worried about the environment? Families are over. 1 in 3 parents would love to teach their kids more about climate change if they had the right tools and ideas. I've chosen to give up a corporate career at PwC to make this happen. We've created multi-sensory climate entertainment for kids 4 to 7 years that bursts with hope, humour, and play. The solution is unique. Rather than
Handheld check 1, 2. Stand by. Go.
All right, how's this? Hello, welcome to Taronga. Go.
Tim, could we just get a few words from you, mate?
Yep, welcome to Taronga's Hatch program. It's fantastic to be here this evening and to have you all with us. How's this for dance, buddy? Can you see me on the camera shot here? Or do I need to- This good? Great.
Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Can I use this to make an announcement outside? No. Okay.
Gaia Garinji Wawunga. Gumada Bianga, Gumada Waranga, Madamarong Taronga Aniga, Madamarong Balia, Camarego Guri Pemo. So hello, I'm Susan. I'm Garinji Wawunga. With deep honor and respect for spirits, for all of us to be here tonight to come together to celebrate together for this special evening on Camarego land. So my name is Susan Moylan Coombs and I'm a friend of the zoo. I've been hanging out around these places for a number of years, and I've been involved with Taronga's Aboriginal Advisory Group. So we have a tag, a bit like I'm still waiting to wear. But it is a great pleasure to be here on behalf of the First Nations community who live locally around Taronga, Sydney. And I also would like to acknowledge Professor Dennis Foley, who taught me the language of country that I just spoke, because I was originally Susan Calmer. I was born in the Northern Territory and I'm stolen generations. So that's why I'm down here on Sydney and living on Camaragal land. And one of the things that is fundamentally important about who we are is our connection to culture and connection to country. And being able to build up a body of knowledge about, who we are and what is our story and how do we contribute to the world, and in particular as entrepreneurs, how do you contribute to a hatch program, and how do we find our way moving forward. So I guess that it's really about what we do as humans and how we protect the future of the environment, of the creatures, the wild, but also as humans, how do we do this better together? Because if we don't, then, and I see some young ones walking around, but we do need to do it better for the next generations to come. So the work that we do is not just for the next 20 years, but maybe we should start looking to the next 50 years, next 100 years, and then let's see what difference we make. So, I just want to congratulate all of the finalists and everybody that's going to be pitching this evening, and best wishes, good luck, and we'll see what happens.
Well, welcome everyone to this incredible evening, the 2023 pitch event for Taronga's Accelerator program. Hatch, give it up. Hatch. We are so thrilled to have each and every one of you joining us tonight. This is the first time that we've been able to hold this event here in person, which is fantastic. So thank you for coming out on this cold and rainy night and filling this room. We're also joined by some wonderful people on Zoom. And all we want to say is, guys, where are you? I mean, no, we love you. We love you and we're proud of you. And thank you for joining us online from wherever you're joining us as well. Tonight is a special night, but before we get going, I want to thank Susan for her acknowledgement and add my acknowledgement to the Camaragal people, to their elders past, present and emerging. And also want to note that this work that we share in, this mission we share in of conservation, we will fail unless we include, unless we learn from and lean into and take wisdom with and leadership from our First Nations people, the first ecologists, people who for 60,000 years conserved the rivers and the mountains, the fields and the forests of these lands we now call Australia. So Susan, thank you so much for joining us, and to all of Taronga's work in reconciliation with First Nations people. Give a big round of applause for that. So normally I'm a bit of a bundle of energy and optimism, but unfortunately you've got me on a bit of a flat day, and I can recognise that there's a bit of a sense of that in the audience today, because I don't know about you, but I spent 8 hours today refreshing a Ticketek website trying to get tickets to see Taylor Swift. Was anyone else in that same boat? Put your hand up, nice and loud and proud, and keep your hand up if you didn't get tickets. Okay, hands down. Put your hand up if you got tickets. Oh. A big round of applause for our 3 special VIPs tonight. 800,000 people in line for 250,000 tickets. Can you believe it? But you had a ticket to the best show of the day tonight. We have a wonderful night here. I will not be singing anything from Folklore or Evermore, but we will be seeing 6 incredible pictures from some wonderful conservation efforts ahead of us tonight. It is going to be full of inspiration, and I can't wait to share that all with us. But I want to give you the opportunity to take yourself back in your mind and think about your first engagement with Taronga, what your first time on these hallowed grounds was. For me, I came here for birthday parties. I actually brought my wife here on our second date and stole a kiss after the bird show. What a romantic. I know, you're lucky. She's watching at home. And about 14 years ago, I had the great privilege as a buzzing university student to land a job, a casual job in the education team under Paul Maguire over here, when these buildings were just demountables with a couple of shingleback lizards in them. And look how far we've come. Wherever your first story with Taronga starts, by being tonight, you already know that Taronga leaves no stone unturned when it comes to building a shared future for wildlife and people. And the Hatch program is an incredible example of that, blending conservation and innovation and inviting people into the Taronga world, sharing our networks and making sure that the next generation of conservation happens better and bigger than ever before. And that is what we're all celebrating tonight. Now, you have a great opportunity tonight. Not only are you sharing in the Judges Award, where we'll be giving away 50,000 big ones to one of these incredible organizations, but you will also get to vote in the People's Choice Award, which means you need to be paying attention tonight, because your decision that you make later tonight will make a big difference to one of these groups. So you have a big role to play. But before we get into any of that, a little bit of housekeeping. Bathrooms. I know it's on your mind. It's always the biggest question, obviously. There are bathrooms on every level of this building. So if you go outside looking for a bathroom and you can't find one, you might have gone too far and you might be in an animal enclosure. So turn around, just walk straight back in. But you can go to the bathroom anytime. I don't know why I'm saying that to adults. But a handy, it was in the run sheet. That's it. But a handy hint is whenever I'm on stage is a great time to go to the bathroom. I've seen the program, and there are some great people that we're going to hear from tonight. So you see me get up, you get the urge, leave out the exit. The only thing I have left to do is to invite up our guest speaker, our first guest speaker for tonight. This is a man who for almost 14 years has been a steadfast leader of conservation efforts right here at Taronga, but also around the world. And I could introduce him by sharing some big stories of big achievements, but I just wanted to introduce him with one really small story. And that is when I started here as a casual education officer / discovery host for almost 14 years ago. It was actually my first training day, and some of you may remember this when the elephant Parihan was born. And if I've got the timing correct, it was a pretty somber time at Taronga Zoo. It was a really difficult moment. But even though I was the lowest of the low in the zoo ecosystem, someone doing casual work a couple of days every couple of weeks if I was lucky. During that training day, this man took time out of one of the most hectic moments in his early days as CEO of this institute to come and share with us the story of Parihan, what had been happening, and what to expect. And it made me feel like I was not just part of a team, but part of a mission. I came that day to learn how to do a job, and I left with conservation right at my heart because I felt included in this great story, this great family of Taronga. And so with that, I want to invite up the CEO of Taronga, Mr. Cameron Kerr.
I really was wondering what story was going to come. Looking at Christy going, where's that in the notes? Thank you, Tim. I can't tell you how excited I am to see a full room here tonight. As you said, our first live hatch event. It is humbling to see the support that we've had with everyone coming out tonight in a night like this, sold out event. So well done, team. To have the commitment of all our, submissions right across the hatch, but for our finalists, unbelievable commitment. The commitment from our judging panel, and of course, all those that have supported. And Susan, a friend of Taronga. She's a mentor. She's the best friend of Taronga. She's committed so much time of hers. She's helped us as an organisation mature so much over the time that we've had you on board. You and Deb have been a really powerful influence on every one of us in this organisation. And I can't tell you how privileged we are to have you, all our Aboriginal advisory group in Sydney, our Yarn Up group at Taronga Western Plains, and of course, all our First Nations staff that work at Taronga. They're all helping us grow as people and understand the connection to country, sky and water, which is what we're all about and why we're all here. So, thank you, Susan. I'd like to acknowledge any past or present elders that are here tonight also, and, with a very sincere thanks for your forgiveness and generosity in sharing. And I think that's something that's, really powerful for us all. I think, something that is really moving for me also is we had this idea a while ago. We were getting so many invitations and so much requests to bring scientists and specialists in various animal areas, from genetics, people that are good at communications, educators, pathologists, marketers, everyone coming to Taronga to do work for a great outcome. And that was, in our terms, as Tim said, to create a shared future for wildlife and people. We had this idea to create a hub like nothing else. There's no other place in the Southern Hemisphere where we can bring expertise that is absolutely focused and committed on wildlife conservation to share their knowledge and experience and passion in that hub of ideas. And to think now, in 2023, here we are, a full room, all these incredible minds, incredibly energetic people, creative people that are here, dedicated to innovative solutions for wildlife conservation. Huge thank you to all of you for being a part of that. And I can't tell you how exciting that is for our organisation. What I've really learned in my time, and I've been, 23 years with Taronga now, so it is in my blood, and I'm absolutely personally committed to wildlife and habitat and our commitment to country, because I know where it all starts and what we've got to learn. But it's really not about the animals, is it? It's about people. We cause the problem, and we've got a very short window of time to fix it. I think we all understand that everyone in this room is probably the first generation that really understands the issues and the complexity of the issues. We're also the last generation that can do something about it. And what really excites me is that We have proven as humans so many times that we are incredibly powerful with our little computer up here. I don't know whether mine's an old-fashioned hard drive rather than the new solid disk hard drives. You know, we're all doing pretty well. And when there's a crisis, I always find that humans are very good at their response. Sometimes I question our ability to look over the horizon and avoid it. We've seen a few of those. You know, being lucky enough on a number of occasions to be able to work with Jane Goodall. She always talks about hope. And I can absolutely say that there is hope. Yes, it's mission critical and the clock is close to midnight, but we are an incredibly capable species. And I think, you know, when I see the understanding that we have from the submissions that we've seen in the finalists got here tonight, when we combine that scientific approach with systems thinking and the innovation and creativity that you'll see tonight from these finalists, it will all inspire you and give you hope for the future and our children and their children. I think that is really powerful and exciting. So a huge thank you to all our finalists that are here tonight, for all those people that might be online or here tonight that have put in the submissions as well. Really is fantastic. A very special thank you, of course, to the funders of this, and that is the Bridge Lane Foundation. I'd like to say it again, the Bridge Lane Foundation, the Bird Holcomb Foundation, the Bird Holcomb Foundation. Is there an echo in here? The Wallamai Capital, sorry, the Wallamai. We've got an exhibit called the Wallamai. Wallamai Capital. I'll say that twice too. The reason I say that twice is because this is not just reading a horse race. These people and these foundations are personally committed, and they make nights like tonight happen. And I think, you know, a profound thank you to you. Profound thank you also, of course, to our mentors who put in 14 weeks plus to support our finalists and support this wonderful program. And then, of course, our judges as well, who've used their wealth and breadth of experience across so many different areas to sit down. And I don't know whether any of you have ever done judging. It sounds fun, but it's a weight of responsibility. And it's a lot of work, a lot of reading. And I was inspired by their thoughtfulness, their insights, their questions, and the professionalism with which they took on the task and the results that were done today, achieved today. I'd also like to say a very special thank you to some people that work behind the scenes, don't get much glory or profile at all, and that's the Taronga board. And we're lucky tonight, we've got a number of our board members here. Penny Bingham Hall is the chair for the Taronga board. Dr. Ian Roth is also here and chairs our Wildlife Committee, Health and Welfare Committee. Joe David and Kathy Harris. Those are four board members who don't just turn up and ask questions of the executive. They do that and they do that very well. But they are absolutely committed to our organisation, our vision and mission. So on that note, a huge thank you to everyone that's here tonight. A huge congratulations to all the Hatch teams, those that are finalists and those that aren't. One thing that really excites me is Taronga's purpose is to save wildlife, to inspire people, and to drive change. This Hatch program is being run by the most wonderful Taronga staff, Christy, Belinda, Paul and Simon, behind the scenes, working away with so many others. You really are delivering on our purpose. So all of you, have a wonderful night. And let's celebrate this fantastic achievement that has been done by people in the community. Congratulations. Good night.
Well, Cameron mentioned some of the incredible Taronga staff who work behind the scenes bringing this Hatch program together. And we are going to have the opportunity to hear from a couple of them right now. Would you please welcome up Belinda, who is Taronga's Manager of Guest Learning and Community Impact, and Christy, who is the Hatch Program Officer as well. Would you please welcome them up to the stage?
Thanks, Tim, and what a pleasure it is to be standing here in a full room. So this is the third time we've run Hatch, and due to a lovely friend of ours called COVID, This is the first time we've actually run it in person. So to have a pitch event and to be able to do this with all of you here is just life-changing for us in terms of being able to run this program. So when we first established HAT, it was really to be able to inspire early change makers in their careers to become an entrepreneur, to really change the world and think innovatively about some of the challenges that we face today. We know about challenges. We know that we're facing the sixth mass extinction. We know about biodiversity loss, and we know about climate change. But what we also know that while we all have all these problems that we're facing, and that humans are really at the cause of those, humans are going to solve these problems for us. So we're super excited to be able to run this program and to be able to run it with all of you. So just to take a step back, we've had 17 teams now that have been through the Hatch cohort. We've given away around $180,000 in terms of non-equity funding for these teams, which is super exciting. We've got our old cohort here today, so you'll hear from Kimberly, the last cohort's winner, a little bit later on, so I won't steal her thunder, but her idea around changing the future for single-use plastics with the crustacean waste product. To look at that, and hopefully you tried one of our first winners, Good Eddie cups, out in here when you were here before. So it's an edible coffee cup that they've now sold over 200,000 cups, and are really trying to change the disposable coffee cup process. Really exciting. We've had ideas surfboards to tackle the sustainability in the surfboard industry, reusable takeaway container systems to really challenge some of the lunchroom and facilities around takeaway containers in our environment, and a kids club to really look at sustainability around bikes and that type of thing. So we're really excited to see how these ideas are progressing over the time. So a personal thanks from me and the team to our funders, and Cam mentioned them before, but to Marcus and Alex and David, who I know are here tonight. Thank you. We literally couldn't do this work without you, and thanks for supporting us. I think, looking back over time, when we first started looking at an accelerator program, we were really unclear about what an accelerator program was. And we went on an accelerator program ourselves to learn about it, and now look at where we are. So we've come a long way. Thanks for trusting in us and believing that we could do it. And so, yeah, you'll hear from Kimberly before, and tonight's winners will join that cohort of winners of the Hatch program. So to our teams this year, good luck. Thank you for all of your competitive spirit, your support of each other, and just accepting Taronga and Hatch as of what we are, and being part of the journey. And we can't wait to see what you're going to do next.
Thank you. It's so incredibly wonderful to see you all here tonight and to have so much love and support for the program and the founders. So it's called an amazing atmosphere being here in person. So as Belle mentioned, COVID robbed us of being able to hold the pitch event in person for the first two cohorts, but we're so glad that you're here today. I just want to say that the ability to come together has created such a uniquely collaborative space to grow and develop together. I want to acknowledge the teams. It's been unbelievably incredible to see you grow and develop together, and just the hustle has been absolutely inspirational. It's been my pleasure to support you through this program and to watch your initiatives grow, and I'm very excited for everyone to see the hard work that you've put into this. I know that it was a great personal sacrifice for your families, your jobs, everything else, and to be able to handle that is a pure testament to skills and ability. So So I also want to thank Tom Allen, the CEO of Impact Boom. So Impact Boom is a B Corp social enterprise providing strong support for purpose-led initiatives globally. Tom, you have been such a pillar of our success. So we literally couldn't have done the program without you. I look forward to future endeavors together, and thank you so much for your support literally today with bumping in the event as well. I also want to thank Odanata and Sam Marwood, who's the CEO, for providing incredible opportunities for our alumni, participants, and applicants as well. Now, we can't thank you enough to this next group, the mentors. Thank you so much for coming on board and supporting our teams. You will see our lovely mentors up here on the screen. It's been incredibly inspiring to see how generous you all have been with your expertise and time. And again, we literally couldn't have done this program without you. So thank you so much. I also want to thank the Taronga teams that have been involved in the program success, including the pitch night tonight. So that's Foundation, corporate partnerships, the horticulture team that did this incredible decoration here, our tech team up there, Harry and Steve, operations, and I'm sure I'm missing some, so that you're for it. Now, just to wrap up, as Tim mentioned, you'll have the opportunity to vote for your People's Choice Award. I would like you to keep in mind when you vote for the team that inspires you most. So you'll be hearing from lovely teams in a moment. Just keep in your mind who you would like to vote for your People's Choice and who inspires you the most. You'll post, make sure you've got your smartphones ready. And if you don't have a smartphone, turn to your neighbour and ask them if they can assist you with that as well. Now, that's enough from me. I'm going to pass over to Tim, our wonderful. Thank you.
Speaking just before. And I have a sneaking suspicion that in a few years' time we might have solved the extinction crisis just on favours to Bell alone. So, Bell and Chrissy, thank you so much for the work that you put into this incredible program. The time has come for us to get to hear from our incredible six initiatives that we're celebrating tonight. This is a nerve experience. If you've ever done a pitch tonight or been someone pitching an event before, you're quite nervous. So I just need to take a moment to show our wonderful initiatives that we are on their side and we have their back. Would you please join me in celebrating all six of them before we even kick off? A massive round of applause. Fantastic. We are going to dive straight in. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get a quick video on each of our initiatives, and then they're going to be invited up and they're going to share it in Q&A time with a member of our team. So first up, we have Be the Future. Now, after noticing that climate change educational tools focus heavily on doom and gloom, founder Sally Giblin set about changing it. So please welcome Sally to tell us more about how entertainment kits creating a new generation of young climate champions through playful fun, hope and humour, and a crazy mermaid outfit along the way as well.
Hi, I'm Sally, co-founder of Be the Future. I'd like to ask you all to take a moment to think about a child in your life that you love. We're unleashing the power of families and educators to be part of rewriting our story. We've created fun entertainment for young kids that bursts with hope, humour, and playful action. I'm the mum of a 6-year-old, and I am deeply worried about his future. Many other parents are just as concerned. Did you know that 1 in 5 kids have trouble sleeping because they're worried about the environment? Families are overwhelmed and they don't know where to start. 1 in 3 parents would love to teach their kids more about climate change if they have the right tools and ideas. I've chosen to give up a corporate career at PwC to make this happen. We've created multi-sensory climate edutainment for kids 4 to 7 years that bursts with hope, humour, and playful action. Our solution is unique. Rather than drive endless consumption, we use creative design and materials to encourage sharing. Rather than build eco-awareness that leaves kids anxious, we spark playful action. And rather than focus on one medium, we use multi-sensory edutainment that meets kids where they like to learn. We're reinvigorating a proven model used by Grow Your Mind. Families are buying edutainment kits, and early educators will buy curriculum-aligned subscriptions. This is a huge market opportunity. Families across Australia and the UK spend Hi, I'm Sally, co-founder of Be the Future. I'd like to ask you all to take a moment to think about a child in your life that you love. We're unleashing the power of families and educators to be part of rewriting our climate story. We've created climate edutainment for young kids that bursts with hope and playful action. I'm the mum of a 6-year-old, and I am deeply worried about his future. Many other parents are just as concerned. Did you know that 1 in 5 kids have trouble sleeping because they're worried about the environment? Families are overwhelmed and don't know where to start. 1 in 3 parents would love to teach their kids more about climate change if they had the right tools. I've chosen to give up a corporate career at PwC to make this happen. We've created multi-sensory climate edutainment for kids for 7 years that bursts with hope, humor, and playful action. Our solution is unique. Rather than drive endless consumption, we use creative design and materials to encourage sharing. Rather than build eco-awareness that leaves kids anxious, we spark playful action. And rather than focus on one medium, we use multi-sensory edutainment that meets kids where they like to learn. We're reinvigorating a proven model used by Grow Your Mind. Families are buying entertainment kits, and early educators will buy curriculum-aligned subscriptions. This is a huge market opportunity. Families across Australia and the UK spend $6.7 billion annually on educating their children 4 to 7 years, while the early education market is $53 billion. Hi, I'm Sally, co-founder of Be the Future. I'd like to ask you all to take a moment to think about a child in your life that you love. We're unleashing the power of families and educators to be part of rewriting our climate story. We've created climate edutainment for young kids that bursts with hope, humor, and playful action. I'm the mum of a 6-year-old, and I am deeply worried about his future. Many other parents are just as concerned. Did you know that 1 in 5 kids have trouble sleeping because they're worried about the environment? Families are overwhelmed and they don't know where to start. 1 in 3 parents would love to teach their kids more about climate change if they had the right tools. I've chosen to give up a corporate career at PwC to make this happen. We've created multi-sensory climate edutainment for kids 4 to 7 years that bursts with hope, humor, and playful action. Our solution is unique. Rather than drive endless consumption, we use creative design and materials to encourage sharing. Rather than build eco-awareness that leaves kids anxious, we spark playful action. And rather than focus on one medium, we use multi-sensory edutainment that meets kids where they like to learn. We're reinvigorating a proven model used by Grow Your Mind. Families are buying entertainment kits, and early educators will buy curriculum-aligned subscriptions. This is a huge market opportunity. Families across Australia and the UK spend $6.7 billion annually on educating their children 4 to 7 years, while the early education market is $53 billion across the 2 countries. We have a proven model with families and a commercial strategy to reach early educators. Key next steps include funded children's workshops, an early education pilot, and a digital platform MVP. We have a community of over 4,000 families. We've created our first Ocean Edutainment Kit with 25 families and educators. And we've got paid children's sustainability workshops happening with a local council. Families and educators love us, especially the playfulness. And the media loves our creative approach too. We've built an amazing team. I'm a former management consultant, writer, and environmentalist, and my co-founder is an educator, author, and designer. Come unleash your power to be part of rewriting our climate story. Support our Kickstarter campaign. Let's create a future for our kids where people and nature thrive. Thank you.
Sally, congratulations on such a great pitch. We loved it so much we saw it 3 times.
Thank you. You must all be so sick of me by now.
So Sally, well done on such a fantastic pitch and product. Can you tell us a bit more about what inspired you to develop Be the Future and why you about this initiative?
I just think there's so much doom and gloom and overwhelm out there around our climate biodiversity crisis, and really felt a need personally, and speaking to other parents saw it too, around playful, engaging ways to really talk about this and to find a pathway to take it. Because I think we can all have a unique role in creating.
Wonderful. That's a great idea. We were all able to see your incredible reclaimed waste mermaid outside and in your pitch video. Can you tell us a bit more about how and why you created that?
First thing I have to say is that my son actually was a huge part of creating that tale. So thank you, buddy, because I forgot to say that on national TV, and I don't think I ever lived that down. Sorry, bud. And we created that. We spent over 150 hours, all out of reclaimed waste, really just to try and have a way to start a conversation, a playful way. And it's definitely proving that. And you need 30 of those tales to mirror the amount of plastic that goes into the ocean every second.
Well done on that effort. It's a really important message to share with everyone and a great visual representation of just how much waste is in the oceans. So what is your big vision for the initiative? What's your plan for the next years?
So yeah, Helen and I have quite a large vision for this. So we've created the first entertainment kit, which is set in the ocean and all about plastics, because that's an accessible place to start. Issue, but we have plans to have 7 of these, so all across 7 different habitats and different climate issues and solutions, keeping on having this very character-driven approach and lots of cheeky humour for the kids, and being really playful. And I guess the other piece is to have a digital platform, almost like journaling for kids' climate action. So again, really fun and playful and engaging way to get people to find that path to action.
Wonderful. Well, good luck with all of that. We're really excited to see what the future holds for you. And congratulations for finishing the Hatch program.
Thanks so much, Christian.
Praise. So we're going to hear from our second team, One Fish, Two Fish from Seafood Positive. So for every fish sold, caught, or consumed, One Fish, Two Fish will return 2 fish to the ocean. Founder Dr. Chris Gillies will share more about how Seafood Positive is reversing biodiversity loss in the oceans by creating a circular seafood economy. Let's watch his pitch now. Any second now.
Program. As a marine scientist, I've had the privilege to dive all over the world, from Antarctica to the Pacific. I've helped many communities around the world recover threatened marine ecosystems and access conservation finance through global private markets. Most recently, I started a new aquaculture business helping to put sustainable seafood on Australia's restaurants. I've come to understand just how important seafood is to our health, our communities, and the planet. Seafood is one of the most nutritious sources of food. It has a low carbon footprint and feeds over 3 billion people. That number is expected to double by 2050. Whilst current approaches to sustainable seafood are doing a great job at minimising the impact of harvest and production, we need new solutions that can help meet global demand for seafood without harming the planet. One Fish, Two Fish is the world's first circular seafood program that helps seafood lovers give back to the ocean. For every 1 fish sold, caught, or consumed, we return 2 fish to the ocean. So how does it work? Seafood businesses pay a small fee, typically 25 cents a meal, to become seafood positive. We invest the fees in fish improvement projects that are run by reputable organisations experienced in habitat restoration and fishery stocking. We then validate the number of fish created using our methodologies developed by a global network of fisheries scientists. We also provide videos, project updates, and our logo to our customers so that they can communicate their involvement with their customers, which means you can feel positive about eating seafood. Australians consume over 365,000 tonnes of seafood each year, which means our business has a total addressable market value of over $3 billion. Chefs and restaurants are passionate advocates for seafood sustainability. Our market shows that they're willing to lead the pivot towards a circular seafood economy. Over the next 18 months, we're targeting a 5% market penetration across the 30,000 restaurants in Australia. We have a sales target of $3 million and $5,000 per customer. We already have several high-caliber restaurants validating our business thesis. These customers are already acting as ambassadors, helping to influence the hospitality industry and recruit more restaurants. With your help, we can make seafood positive and reverse the declines in fish population and ocean health by returning over 1 billion fish into the oceans each year. If you're a chef or restaurant owner, we'd love to connect with you. If you're an investor, let's talk. We're currently raising finance to support our restaurant recruitment and retention strategy to ensure that we reach our 3 million sales target. If you can't invest or don't know a chef, you can still support Seafood Positive. Buy an annual subscription to replace the fish that you eat and help spread the word to friends and family. Thanks for your support. Let's make seafood positive and leave a legacy of healthy, thriving oceans for generations to come.
Well done, Chris. It's been a real, true privilege to be working alongside you and seeing you work so hard on this initiative. So tell us a bit more about what it was that prompted you to really start One Fish to Fish.
I'll switch. There we go. Okay. So look, I've spent over 12 years in the not-for-profit industry, and I've seen some amazing projects, restore ecosystems right around Australia. But one of the challenges is access to sustainable finance. The way that you typically fund a project, being not-for-profit, is through a government grant or through a gift from philanthropy. And the difficulty with that type of funding is it's often cyclical. It's associated with government, election commitments, and it can be short term. So we wanted to try to address that challenge and look at how the private sector, private finance, can provide more sustainable finance long term to meet the pipeline of demand that these habitat restoration projects have, and the timelines that these habitat restoration projects need as well. That's exactly what we've done with 150.
Thank you, Chris. And you said you're a scientist, so let's talk science. Right? When you put fish back into the environment, like how do you know how many fish you're putting back in? What species are you putting back into the environment? And how do you ensure that this is aligned with best practice, with the right regulation, and that ultimately that these releases are creating positive impact for our oceans?
Look, it's hard to count fish underwater. I don't know if you've ever tried to do it before. They move. They're not always there. It's seasonal, and rarely can you see more than 10 meters in front of you. So it is not easy as a scientist to count fish. But we have some amazing and very skilled scientists that know what to do. So we might have particular types of nets. There's a big push towards AI and actually using automated recognition of fish as well, which is really exciting. So what we've done is we've collated all of these methods and developed a set of standards that our projects use. And those standards have been developed with assistance from CSIRO, even the New South Wales government, and universities as far away as Stanford University as well. So that's our sort of principles. In terms of the type of fish that we restore, it depends on what we're doing. So if it's habitat restoration, it's the fish that, of course, live in seagrass, and it's not just the big fish that we all want to eat, it's also the small fish that help big fish grow. And lastly, if it's a fish improvement project, it really depends on the location. So the project we have in Corner Inlet is looking to restore flounder, which was once very common, not so common anymore, and a rock as well.
Lovely. So in your video, we saw that right now you were very much focusing on chefs, on restaurants, on really strong engagement to really build that customer base. But that's not the future. Beyond working directly with those chefs and restaurants, what does that next 12 months look like? What do those steps look like to help this movement grow?
Yeah, so that's right. I mean, chefs are fantastic ambassadors in seafood sustainability. They really are the unsung educators, if you like, around which fish to choose or not. So we're definitely going to focus on the restaurant industry in the next 12 months. Some amazing ambassadors already who have signed up to help us recruit. 6 restaurants sign up today, verbally. So that's pretty exciting as well. It's been a great day. But beyond that, we're also going to test a couple of other methods. We think there are opportunities, for instance, to move into the retail market. So chips here at the supermarket. You might also be able to buy a little token or 20 cents along with your fish purchase that will then go to replace the fish that you just bought. As well as looking into cruise ship operators, pet food operators, supermarkets. There's a long list of people who use seafood. And we'll start that journey in the next 6 to 12 months, but certainly be focusing on chefs in the short term.
Well done again. I was literally hearing the updates throughout the day, and those 6 customers just kept rolling in. So let's give Chris a huge round of applause on all the hard work. And it is now my pleasure to be introducing our third. That's third. Now, many of you today have likely opened a bread package, and you've had a slice of bread, and you've engaged with soft plastic in some way. So founder David Roberts, who's over here, is really here to empower households to efficiently compress soft plastic and to do that with a product called Scrunch. Now, Scrunch is simplifying storage and it's facilitating recycling with its mission to keep soft plastics out of the ocean. Let's hear David's story now, and then we'll have a bit of Q&A after.
I'm the founder of Scrunch Solutions. I've got 27 years experience working in environmental science, and I'm passionate about protecting our oceans. Did you know 10 million tonnes of plastic flow into our oceans every year? That's a garbage truck every minute. These plastics cause enormous harm to animals. It's estimated that by 2050, there'll be more plastic in the ocean than fish. This cannot be our future. I'm using my working knowledge of the recycling industry and my passion for good design to change this. The first of our products to tackle this problem is Scrunch. Scrunch is a kitchen-friendly product that makes it easy for everyone to collect soft plastic in the home. When Scrunch is full, the now small ball of plastic is easily removed and ready for recycling. By sticking on the QR code that we provide, it can be easily placed in your council recycling bin, ready to be reprocessed into new plastic products. Each home generates 300 grams of soft plastics per week. If every home had a Scrunch, we could divert 4,000 tonnes away from the environment and into new products each year. An Australian government survey found that over 8 million households already recycle. And a survey of over 1,000 homes showed that there was great support for soft plastic recycling, especially if they could use their recycling bin rather than taking it to the supermarkets. The Australian government has committed to building a circular economy and have set targets to recycle 70% of plastic packaging. Working with industry, they're investing over $1 billion in recycling infrastructure. Scrunch is proudly made in Australia from recycled plastic. Yeah, the same plastic it's collected is actually used to make the product. It is actually the perfect circular economy story. We're currently in the customer testing stage for some great testimonials. When customer testing is complete, we will refine the design and move quickly into market. The marketing strategy consists of 3 stages. The first is to pitch to our network in food retail and packaging to offer a white label product for their own promotion and sale. The second will be bulk sales to retailers, and the third will be individual sales online. Let's make it easy for everyone to scrunch soft plastics back into new products. We're going to be looking to raise capital this year, so please get in touch and help us keep soft plastics out of our oceans.
Hello, David. How are you? You feeling okay? Well done on a fantastic pitch. No, that's all right. So it's been a real pleasure and joy to watch you grow and develop in this program. And congratulations on an incredible product. If I could address the elephant in the room, the literal elephant in the room, otherwise we're going to have a problem. But there has been a lot of debate and discussion around the collapse of red cycle, basically how the soft plastic industry is non-existent at this stage. So I guess with your 27 years of experience, can you please explain how your product is viable and how it can expand essentially when there's perception that there's no industry to support it?
Yeah, thanks, Christy, for starting with a tough question. The industry did collapse catastrophically. Red Cycle completely fell over, and the supermarkets took a big reputation on it as well. That is true. And it's one of the first things my mentor, who I think is online, my fantastic mentor, David Taylor, brought to my attention was, well, the industry's collapsed. What are you going to do? And it was very much a case of that's the media story. And funnily enough, the media wasn't telling the now, I work in the industry, so I'll tell you the good news. The good news is the industry is actually thriving. Red Cycle fell over, but the industry itself is thriving. The Australian government moved a few years ago to ban the export of soft plastic or plastic packaging overseas. So it forced our industry to actually make change. So that started 2 or 3 years ago. Second to that is it set governance framework, so it's targets and other systems in place, circular economy systems, to facilitate industry to move towards recycling of plastic domestically. And third, it worked with industry to kick in $1 billion into recycling infrastructure. I'll just say that again, $1 billion into recycling infrastructure. So that's infrastructure that will facilitate materials, including soft plastic. So you can see the story is actually quite amazingly different to what you'd be reading in the newspaper. Now, Red Cycle did collapse. The point it collapsed, there was only one facility operating that could recycle plastic, and it had a fire, and so Red Cycle started stockpiling it and not telling anyone. But they had nowhere to go. But these days, there's factories, recycling factories popping up, especially on the East Coast. We've already got 2 in Victoria, 2 coming online in New South Wales. So I don't think we'll see those sorts of problems again. What we're trying to do, Scrunch Solutions, is align ourselves strategically with what's happening out there in the industry, so that we can set up a social enterprise that will ultimately do good for the community.
Thank you. It's great to hear a different perspective on the matter and a more positive spin on it, that's for sure. So you mentioned the use of a QR code system as part of the pitch video, and I was hoping that you could explain that a little bit further and what the feasibility of that is based on the previous answer and the industry in general.
Thanks. Look, you might recall there was a QR code put on the soft ball of plastic. The QR code, and you could put on a barcode, you could paint a rainbow on it for all it matters. The QR code specifically is to ensure that when that compressed ball of plastic goes through the council recycling bin into the truck onto the big conveyor belts out in the recycling areas, that the scanners know what it is. And once they know what it is, they can sort it to the appropriate location. And that's the key to recycling, really. Let's get the right material sorted. You reduce your contamination, you allow the system to go on. So the QR code is just one of many ways of doing it. Now, Sydney doesn't have the system yet, so don't try this at home, as they say. Sydney doesn't have it, but 2 areas are already operating. So it's a proven. The Central Coast is the most famous one. Nestle has funded a trial up there. It is proven that material can move through that same recycling system, and they're already making Kit Kat wrappers. I think they've decided to choose the Kit Kat wrapper just to prove the concept. concept. Now, the rest of the industry, the food packaging industry, they're watching this, and they're already investing. And a lot of the internationals are already doing it overseas, so it's nothing new. And the infrastructure is now coming to this country. So this will be the future of recycling. And it won't stop there. Once we've proven this concept, there's a council of recycling bin sitting right there. So I get a bit excited about this stuff. But there's a council of recycling bin sitting right there. It's more empty these days than ever because we've got this CDS system with 10% deposit. So there's space for that. The trucks are already moving through, picking it up, taking it off. There's no point in third-party systems set up in place to manage these additional materials. Just put it in the recycling bin. So we'll be moving on to electronics, to clothing that can't be used anymore. So many more materials could use this same process. So this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Very exciting that there's a prospect that we can recycle some plastics again to our residential waste bins. That's great to hear. So you talked about a few options of who you'd like to sell this product to. Can you explain who your priority is at the moment and what you need to do to make that happen?
So our priority, our target market would be mostly around the food retail area. So really looking at food packaging and the food retailers. These are the two areas that have the responsibility for soft plastics. And if they argue they don't have the responsibility, that they have the reputational risk. So what we're offering is, first off, is a white label solution. So we're going to be offering them the product to brand for themselves, to use for promotion, so to get it out there. And it's important that we work with the bigger players initially because we need to get the product out there on scale to help them make an impact. Because ultimately it's about getting a large volume of soft plastics successfully recycled into the system. We know this is a low contamination, extraordinary low contamination way of getting soft plastics into the circular economy. So the circular economy, it's all very well for the government to turn around and say, oh, look, everyone's got to use recycled plastic in all their food packaging. If the content isn't coming into that circular economy, it's destined to fail. So it's really important that we are part of that ecosystem of getting soft plastics in. Number one, reduce your soft plastic use, of course, but it's here to stay. So we have to be part of that circular economy. We can't just point fingers at Woolworths and Unilever and everyone else. So yeah, my priority is to pitch to the contacts that have already developed at Woolworths and Goodman Fielder and these organisations.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations again and good luck with all your endeavours. And it's been a pleasure to have you on the program. A round of applause. Now we'll hear from our fourth team. I'd like to introduce founder Dr. Alex Carthy, who brings over 15 years of experience in terrestrial ecology and expertise in terrestrial mammals to create Habitat Pods, which is a lightweight, modular and biodegradable emergency refuge that can be rapidly deployed to protect wildlife after natural disasters and habitat degradation. Let's hear more from Alex now.
Did you know that when a fire comes raging through an environment, that most animals aren't killed directly by the flames? Rather, it's those critical days and weeks post-fire when most animals are killed. When the cover's been incinerated, cats and foxes are drawn to the burnt environment to pick off survivors. I'm Dr. Alex Carthy, and I've been fascinated by our unique and iconic Australian wildlife since I was a little kid. I've spent my 15-year career working out to protect these amazing animals. My initiative provides a solution for that critical post-fire period. Habitat pods are flat-packed cardboard emergency shelters for wildlife, and they're a unique offering in several key ways. Most artificial habitat offerings, like bird or bat boxes, are aimed at tree-dwelling species, whereas habitat pods are aimed at the ground dwellers who can't escape to the trees. Habitat pods are modular, like Lego, and can be deployed in any number or size to suit any site. They're biodegradable and are intended to degrade away over approximately 12 months as vegetation recovers. Seeds can also be integrated into the cardboard to boost regeneration. As they biodegrade away, they turn into a thick mulch which attracts insects, providing another food source for bandicoots and other insectivores. And ultimately, they support and protect wildlife while the habitat regenerates. Habitat pods are the first product offering of our initiative, which we're calling Rehabitat. Rehabitat is bringing wildlife back through wildlife-focused restoration and disaster response for wildlife. Future offerings will focus on broad-scale landscape restoration. We plan to achieve impact through partnerships with NGOs, not-for-profits, community land care and environmental groups. Australia's ancient landscapes evolved with Indigenous peoples caring for country. So we are committing 1% of profits to supporting Indigenous cultural burning initiatives. We will fund our activities through a mix of for-profit and subsidised projects, fundraising and philanthropy. We've come a long way, having developed and field tested our first prototype. We are working to secure sales and partnerships and raise further funds to develop our second product offering and cover tooling costs. I've teamed up with Alex Bird of the Reef Design Lab, an award-winning industrial designer with over 10 years' experience in designing and delivering successful marine artificial habitat projects. We're also being advised by the highly successful team behind Living Seawalls and by Madeline Cunningham, an experienced mentor and advisor of startups. We've already secured substantial grant funding and paid pilots, as well as support from some of the biggest names in Australian conservation. Our vision is a world with more wildlife back in the bush. Yet the next fire season is imminent. Scientists are already sounding the alarm. As we move into El Nino, lush vegetation is drying into a nightmare fuel load. Next summer is expected to produce devastating bushfires. Help us get prepared. We're looking for corporate sponsorships and more partners. We'll also be launching a public crowdfunding campaign later in the year, and we'd love your support. Head to our website and feel free to join our mailing lists. When future fires hit, we get a chance at a do-over. With your support, we can do a far better job of saving our wildlife.
I'll try now. Here we go. Lovely. Well done, Alex. It is a fantastic product, and it's been so great to see you testing it in different environments as well. So I am curious. We've got a cardboard structure, and we have a range of predators coming into an environment where these critters are finding themselves, beneath cardboard. How exactly do these things work to protect these critters, these beautiful creatures from predators? And what is it that really protects them and sees them really thrive after fire, for example?
Thanks, Tom. So yeah, it's a cardboard structure, and that was really about biodegradability. That was really important. After fire, it takes about 12 months for a nice thick cover of lush vegetation to grow back. And that's what these little animals really do. So these native species like bandicoots, like you saw on the screen, little ground-dwelling animals that can escape the trees, really threatened by things like cats and foxes, which are an introduced predator in Australia. Cats and foxes are actually drawn to Taronga, and they'll travel up 100 kilometres towards the smoke because they know that they'll be great hunting there. So the idea for these was that we wanted them to be biodegradable, so you didn't have to pack it in. And then the common question is, well, how does that actually protect an animal from something like a fox or a cat that could just tear it open? But these are actually to play that role of the vegetation around the ground. So you imagine there used to be a whole lot of knee-height grass, things like that, and if you're a little bandicoot and a fox comes to try to get you, you can dive into it. These are just playing that role. It's not intended for these animals to sit in there and make a little nest in a home, stay still, make it smell like food. So a fox could follow that scent and find where it's hiding and eat it. And then it could, of course. It's much more about creating those obstacles. It's much harder for foxes and cats to chase them down. They can get out of sight and sort of chop that chase process.
Lovely. Okay, so they're currently biodegradable cardboard, but I do know that you've been working on future versions. Tell us more then about the materials,
the features, and what are the future iterations of these pods?
Yeah, thanks, Tom. So these were designed for emergency response to fires, and it was something out really quickly after a fire, protect the wildlife that survived the fire. That has developed so that we now have an idea for product offering that we're really excited about. That is going to be, rather than something you have to fold to shape, which takes about a minute, but still a minute if you're doing thousands of these things is quite a long time. So these are going to be molded in single size, and you just peel them off the pile and put them out in the environment really quickly. You're also going to have native seeds embedded into them, and we'd really like them to be an alternative to sort of plastic core food and the tree guards that you see in broader scale tree planting operations. So this is much more about broad scale landscape restoration, and they'll be about bringing the habitat back through getting more plants and a more dense and complex and biodiverse ecosystem growing rather than single tree species planting. So provide that sort of temporary immediate habitat for wildlife in amongst all the tree seedlings. As they biodegrade, the seeds will germinate and will regrow that habitat much more complex than it would have otherwise. That's where we want to go next. That's what we'll be developing as product offering too. But this is sort of our emergency response unit, and we hope to get those out really quickly after future fires and protect wildlife and help more of them survive.
Lovely. So we know the immediate next steps. But let's talk a little bit further down the track, 5 years, and let's talk impact as well, because I'm sure as a scientist yourself and someone who's deeply passionate about this, you're looking at how you can measure what sort of impact this can create. Tell us more.
Thanks, Tom. So within 5 years, we'd really like these to be warehoused around Australia. We'd like to have stockpiles of them ready to go so that next time there are fires, and you can't predict, we've had a few wet seasons, there haven't been fires. Predicting the next ones will be bad, but ultimately we're not really sure. So when a fire comes, you need to have them on hand, ready to go. The faster you get them out in the environment, the better the chance that you'll protect the wildlife. And the more wildlife you protect in situ, the faster the population recovers. So that builds resilience into our wildlife populations. We'd really like to have them stationed around the country, ready to go. We're talking to government, National Parks and Wildlife, as well as Australian Wildlife Conservancy who we're already working with, and WWF Australia, as well as ONADA. So we are hoping to have these ready to go as a nationwide disaster response, disaster preparedness solution for Australia's wildlife.
And a huge effort, Alex. So let's give her a huge round of applause. Congratulations on all the hard work. And as you heard in Alex's video, a percentage of Alex's revenue will be going towards supporting cultural burns. And so with that introduction, I would really love to be introducing reviving cultural practices. And if any of you are familiar with the Bundjalung Nation, this is where this initiative is born. And they are really focused on addressing the need for increased cultural and environmental awareness among families and communities up in that beautiful part of northern New South Wales there. So where are we at now? They are focusing on cultural fire burnings, where they're really putting their efforts, and the role in maintaining healthy ecosystems whilst preserving traditional knowledge and practices. So we have two beautiful co-founders that we've been working with. That's Tara Mercy and Rebecca Wood. And they are working via the Bundjalung Aboriginal Corporation. And we're basically here now about how they're tackling biodiversity loss through these traditional practices. Let's take a look at their video.
Welcome. My name is Tara Mercy. I'm a proud Bundjalung woman from the Bundjalung Nation, which stretches all the way to Tweed Heads, south down to Iluka, and inlands to the Great Dividing Range. We have a cultural responsibility to look after, care for, and keep country healthy. Our cultural knowledge is over 50,000 years old and has shown resilience throughout the generations. How quickly the devastation within our community that has been affected by the 2019 bushfires and the major floods of 2022 opened the need to revive cultural practices. After losing so much, being instilled with a great sense of responsibility to care and protect country, now is the time to use cultural knowledge. Our initiative, Reviving Cultural Practices, Cultural Burnings, focuses on the impact involved in wildfires, including social, economical, and environmental footprints. Angelang has developed solutions to address all three impacts. One, training 100 cultural fire practitioners to better manage conservation outcomes and provide clear social benefits. Once they are trained, we can use their knowledge in land management. Two, a retainer service where you engage Banjalang to give advice on how to manage your land using First Nation knowledge and practices. This creates opportunity for growth and relationship building with landholders and land managers like National Parks and Wildlife Service, Forestry Corporation, Crown Lands, and private landowners. This also allows Banjalang to stay connected to country. Three, an educational product for the wider community to grow and create a better understanding of the landscape we live in. We want to turn this teaching into a scalable platform that schools, governments, companies, and individuals can engage with to better understand First Nations knowledge on land management. We are seeking seed funding of $80,000 to deliver the cultural fire training and develop an educational product. If you want to support Banjalang to deliver economic, social, and environmental benefits, please contact us today.
Come on down, Tara. Well done on another incredible initiative. And I just want to mention that your co-collaborator, Rebecca Woods, unfortunately is unable to join us today, but she is online. So hi, Rebecca, and congratulations on completing the program as well. So I just want to start off with, for those of us in the audience today who are unfamiliar with the difference between hazard reduction learning and traditional coal burning practices, could you please explain a bit more about the differences and what the ecosystem benefits are of coal burning?
I'll try my best, but so with basically with hazard reduction burn, it burns hotter, and looking at types of burn that happens, it climbs up. So it doesn't really give a chance for small animals like bugs, insects, all those little things that can climb up the tree like frogs, and with cultural burning, it's slow burn and it's a cool burn, that's another word for it. And that basically what we do is remove any trees near the trees so that all these little animals can escape, and also it doesn't hurt the soil. So with hazard reduction burns, it takes the fertility away. So seeds and new shoots of grass can't grow. We do it in a mosaic effect, so it's not even bigger than this room. Whereas hazard reduction, oh my goodness, probably half of the zoo, or maybe even the whole thing. So it depends on how you the area. I think cool burns or cultural burning is definitely safer. The smoke that it releases definitely doesn't affect humans or small animals like that.
So much for enlightening us. I know myself it was really wonderful to learn more about cultural burning and what the difference were between the two types of burning. So you mentioned that you are going to offer a retainer service to landowners and managers. Are you able to explain to us how you are going to engage stakeholders and what particular services you're going to offer them?
So there's 2 seasons. There's the off season and the, fire season. So during that off season, which is actually what yous would call fire season, where you're not allowed to burn, we would go in and, when we work with landowners, we'd like to sit or not sit, but talk to them how to manage their land. Take, any intrusive, invasive weeds or anything like that, we like to remove it in those off seasons. And then during the right season, which is, about end of winter, we'd love to go in and, do cool burns in that mosaic pattern and, at least do that yearly so that it's different burn patches everywhere. I think it would help. I don't think people will see the difference straight away, but it definitely is a long-term benefit.
Wonderful. And I want to explore a bit more about your founder experience. So, what are some of the challenges or barriers that you faced with this initiative, and how have you overcome them?
When we first started, we were like, how do we go about finding the right funding and things like that? But the best thing about telling people that we want to do cultural burning is they'll come to us like, oh no, look, we'll help you, we'll do this, come see me, and we'll talk it through. And it was even with lawyers and how to get around. Another issue was permits and stuff like that. So they were like, no, we'll get help do that stuff as well. The other thing, probably the main thing that's always something that happens with any Indigenous organisation is racism or bias or discrimination. People definitely question a bit deeper and very outspoken. But that's something that we're very used to, when we always fight and do the right thing. Not fight with them, but fight, fight make sure we stay strong and positive and know that what we want to do is something positive and it's for Indigenous people, but for everyone. But, we definitely protect the environment and people. So
Well done. It's such an important initiative, and you've done fantastic on the program. So we wish you all the best with it. Another round of applause for Tara. Well, certainly not so last, but certainly not least. I started with the end of the sentence there. I would like to invite our sixth initiative, Loan, to show that here. So founder Emma Foster Gearing brings her extensive knowledge in sustainability and mixes it with a fierce passion for tackling toxic fashion. She created Loan, a fashion rental platform focused on style, quality, and natural materials to kick the industry into designing better and fixing toxic fashion for good. Please welcome Emma's initiative.
Hi, I'm Emma, the creator of Loan, a fashion rental platform with sustainability at its heart. Whilst you might know that the fashion industry is the second most polluting industry in the world, you might not know that over 90% of what we buy is made of toxic materials making us and the planet sick. And even though over 80% of us are concerned about sustainability when we buy, less than 4% of people are prepared to pay more for it. This is a huge problem for the fashion industry. I believe that the solution lies in fashion rental. This new business model is starting to show between 150 and 300% margin increases and a recurring revenue stream to an industry that's already on its knees. Brands are starting to see the money to be made as well as the money to be saved in the cost to comply with rising sustainability regulations. This gives us the opportunity to finally fix toxic fashion for good. With the rise of hybrid workplaces to over 70% of people now, a new type of customer has emerged that doesn't want to waste time or money buying clothing that they just don't wear very often. Whilst fashion rental has typically focused on secondhand, broken, and aged stock, which would otherwise go to waste, Loan will be prioritizing style, quality, and natural materials. Loan is a fully managed rental platform, from stock acquisition through to all aspects of the customer journey. The logistics, cleaning, and maintenance services will be outsourced to established providers. Loan will empower brands that are prioritizing sustainability in their governance structures, that have a good knowledge of where their products are made and under what conditions, and are also investing in natural, innovative materials. Customers are incentivized to sign up to a monthly membership that offers lots of benefits, including the option to buy a product if they fall in love with it. But it's also easy to rent without it. brands have confirmed that we have the potential to succeed in our mission to fix toxic fashion. And customers have told us that they would absolutely use the service if it was available. Alongside onboarding our first customers, we are busy building our e-commerce platform and product range. We plan to have the full platform operational in the market by early next year. If this sounds exciting for you, then please do join up for one of the early bird discounts. Or if you want to talk about company partnerships or anything else, then feel free to get in touch. I personally believe that this business has all the right ingredients to be wildly successful on the market and also bring more beautiful, natural fashion to the world. I hope that you do too.
Well done, Emma. I know you've got a really strong background in sustainability, and I've seen you come a long way throughout this program. So tell us, how has loan evolved over the Hatch journey?
Yeah, thanks, Tom, and thank you for all your guidance. I'm going to keep this really short, otherwise I have no chance of getting the People's Choice Award. Yeah, look, I like to say that I spent 15 years building this business model in my brain. I'm an engineer by trade, and I spent the last 6 months with the Hatch program bringing it to life. And shout out to my mentor, Vicky, who's been brilliant all the way through. And so really Hatch has helped me put really strong foundations involved into the business. So I could have gone running away, which I have a habit of doing, and just kind of going and making this business live. But what Hatch did was really make sure that I ticked all the kind of business and legal boxes and all the right stuff. And as you can tell from the video, my customer was actually someone I didn't envisage. So I thought the customer was a bit like me, who just wanted to kind of make sure that they knew where their stuff was made and where it came from and how it was made. But then actually the corporate customer that I can see now cares about sustainability, but it's like fifth priority. So they actually really care about quality and having a great user experience. So, you know, everything changed and now it's a much stronger commercial model.
Lovely. And now you're big into fashion, and for anyone else who enjoys fashion or is part of that industry, we do know that there are some big global major competitors in the market. So I'm keen to learn how it is that you are unique, and ultimately, what is the appetite for this sort of service? What are you seeing?
So I want to start by saying that I'm an entrepreneur and not an inventor. And I'm actually very intentionally not that unique in terms of rental fashion. I've come as a second wave into that market. I get to shortcut into profitability by not making the same mistakes as the other guys who've already kind of gone out there and started to change people's behavior in terms of rental. But what's really, really unique about what I'm doing is that I'm starting to create a marketplace, and actually we think we might be the first marketplace for products that have fibers that are grown from farms that are practicing regenerative farming techniques. So this is a language that's starting to come into the fashion industry, but it's really about how a customer wants to buy something because they want to know that it came from a very happy sheep or, you know, kind of regenerative leather that's restoring the land, or silk or cotton that comes from Australia that's really starting to bring biodiversity back to the land. So that marketplace doesn't exist right now because the financial incentive in brands doesn't exist, but it does exist in rental. So that's really where it's unique.
So bringing it back to loan then, where do you see the biggest challenges moving forward then? And what are you going to do to ensure that this initiative really thrives?
Um, I'd love to say my dad's skepticism, but he's here tonight, so definitely the biggest challenge is that a lot of people start out on this rental journey and they go, "Oh my god, it's too expensive. I'm gonna go and get everyone to donate what's in their wardrobes." Then they lose total control over what they're selling, what people are renting, and it gets really complicated from that end. I used to work for The Iconic, and there's lots of The Iconic folk here tonight, so shout out. Thank you very much for coming, guys. And they can definitely tell you the issue that they have with aged and broken stock and just how big that problem is when you don't sell something and what they have to do with that. It's a huge financial and environmental problem. So what I want to do is get to the front end of the design process and actually get the brands to design out that issue. They're not going to be designing for trends in the future. They're going to be designing for quality and for sustainability. That's the real mission. And apart from that, I'm very clearly pregnant and not fat. So making sure that the funding I get in the next couple of months is going to put a great team in place for me to come back in the new year ready to go. And leadership.
Thank you, Emma. You certainly have really deep knowledge in this area. So we all wish Emma a huge amount of success moving forward. Well done. So that brings us to the wrap of the final initiative tonight. And I know that Tim did welcome you to go and have a bathroom break while he speaks, but I'd encourage you just to hold on that little bit longer because we are now going to move to some really exciting parts, and I'll hand over to you, Tim.
Thanks so much, Tom. See, there was a reason why I said you could go to the toilet anytime you wanted at the beginning of tonight, because I knew Tom would get up and ban you from it. It is such a joy to have heard from each of those 6 initiatives. Would you please join with me in bringing, before you do, went a bit early, that's okay. If you are a family member or a friend, if you're a supporter, a partner, whatever you might be, if you are a random stranger who's come along tonight, I want you to make the biggest possible noise to cheer for each of these incredible 6 initiatives right now. I was going to say on the count of 3, let's go! 1, 2, 3, come on. Now, we have asked you to do a lot of listening over the past half an hour. You've done a phenomenal job. Now it comes down to the job of deciding. We are about to open up the voting for the People's Choice Award for this evening. And as we do that, I want to invite you to bring out your smartphones. You can see some already prepared audience members. And as we do that, I just want to share a story to reflect on what tonight's all about. It's a story of conservation. Because 3 years ago, you may not know this, but the QR code was a critically endangered species. But thanks to COVID, we and some efforts here at Taronga, we've been able to bring it back. You can see it on dining tables at restaurants, and here in its natural habitat, a projector display. So if you aren't familiar with it yet, please pull out your camera function on your smartphone, hold up your smartphone, scan the code, and a link will appear. That will take you to a site to vote for your preferred initiative. Have a look around and check that your neighbours are going okay in this mission. We're having a technical problem. I don't believe it. All right, fantastic. We're up live over here. Sir, you may need to change your mobile network. Fantastic. Getting some thumbs up. Okay, while you're doing that, I just want to run through the initiatives that you have a chance to vote for, refresh your mind. You might be wanting to vote for environmental edutainment and be the future. You might be wanting to vote for regeneration in our oceans with One Fish, Two Fish, for recycled soft plastics with Scrunch, for habitat pods with Rehabitat, for reviving cultural practices with Bunjalung, and of course, for rental fashion with Loan. I'm going to give you a few minutes to think through that and to do that. And while you are processing your votes, I'd love to invite up 2 wonderful people, Christy back up and Kimberly from Carapac, one of our previous hatchlings who has been doing some phenomenal work in conservation. Would you please put your hands together and invite them back up to the stage?
Kimberly, welcome back to Hatch. I'm sure there's a lot of emotions going on being here tonight, a bit of PTSD from the program yourself, but hopefully all positive feelings. For those of us who are unfamiliar with Carapac and yourself, are you able to tell us a little bit about Carapac and yourself as a founder?
Sure can do. So Carapac has developed the technology to basically take crustacean shell waste and convert that into a sustainable, innovative plastic alternative. Hence this salad bag over here. So this is actually made from corn shells. We're sourcing crustacean shells from frozen seafood industries. So they actually just across the board, frozen seafood companies deshell and throw away about 8.1 million tons of this waste every single year. So Carrot Pack has developed the ability to take that waste, convert it into a range of different plastic alternatives, so flexible and semi-rigids and even cling, and we can make a whole bunch of very exciting packaging solutions from that. We're targeting the fresh food space, so salad bags and strawberry punnets and that, any of those sort of products because our material's naturally antimicrobial, so we can extend the shelf life of fresh food products by an extra 14 days, which is a huge impact in reducing food waste. And then once consumers are actually done with their Care Pack packaging, they can actually simply chuck it in their garden, 3 to 6 weeks, breaks down into slowly fertilizer, phenomenal for your plants. Um, and then if you don't have access to a garden or home composting, it's also designed to be ocean dissolvable. You can also chuck it in a bucket and flush it down the loo. So it's meant to be a very cool, exciting, tangible, throwawayable um, solution for single-use plastic waste.
Well, thank you. And it does look like a very fresh bag of loose leaves. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So you won the grant at the 2020 Hatch Taronga program, Accelerator program. So are you able to tell us a little bit about what you've been up to since then and how your founder experience has
Of course. So we won the program at the end of 2021. It was so exciting. It was a phenomenal program. Honestly, couldn't recommend it more. And we'd set up this incredible partnership with the seafood company, only for it to be flooded and quite literally washed away. So that's climate change one, Carapac nil. So we went to the drawing board and had to basically reassess everything. But I'm really excited. A lot of work actually designing machinery and a facility to actually set up our own pilot facility or minimum viable factory that will be able to produce a lot of packaging so we can actually do commercial trials and get on shelf. And that funding has really gone towards actually designing these facilities as well as getting really important certificates for our products, which has been amazing. So highs and lows, but made it out in the end and very excited, and we're gearing up for a seed round in order to actually fund that pilot facility.
well done, Flo. Yeah, I agree. Well done for overcoming that setback. I think that's a testament to you as a founder and your resilience that you have and demonstrated through the Hatch program as well. So having gone through the Hatch program and hopefully had a positive experience, which I think you did, and also working on Carrot Pack for several years now, do you have any sort of wise words that you can pass on or any piece of advice that you can pass on to our current founders and maybe those at home that are looking to embark on their startup journey?
Well, people who haven't started but have a good idea, I feel like the actual hardest thing to do is jump. But I really strongly encourage you to do it. The startup journey, I've learned so much and been exposed to so much that I really didn't anticipate, and it's brought so much wealth and knowledge in my life. Um, for actual startup founders, one quote that's actually always stuck with me, it's an Einstein quote, and it's curiosity is intelligence having fun. Um, and I just really love that because I think it can be very hard and you can get really stressed and overwhelmed. Finding balance is always a struggle as a founder, but I think it's a foster environment for yourself and your team to have that curiosity and have that fun. Surround yourself by really clever people and really knowing your problem, and that's a recipe to actually have a good time, learn, and create impact with these
Advice there. Thank you. And I guess what's the next steps for Carapac? I know you touched on that a little bit, but also how can businesses get in touch with you if they'd like to use your product?
Yes, so obviously we're gearing up for the seed round and then setting up the facility, and super eager to do trials along the way. Always interested to chatting to people. Please reach out to me. You can find my website on carapac.com.au. You can email me at kimberly@carapac.com.au. I also have lots of business cards. Always happy to talk to people and make connections and hear your stories and solve packaging problems. Here to change the world of packaging and, as lame as it is, keep it simple in doing so.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and best of luck with the funding and the next endeavors. We really look forward to seeing it take off. I just want to acknowledge our wonderful videographer, Guy. Sorry to put you on the spot there, but he did our wonderful pitch videos tonight and made them very beautiful. So thank you so much for everything that you've done for the Hatch event as well. And now I'm going to pass over to our Director of Education here at Taronga, Paul Maguire.
So in charge of sound tonight. Okay, just jokes. Not sure about you, but my bum's a bit numb. So how about we all stand up for a minute? Stand up and do 2 rotations, shaking yourself out. Round you go. 2 times round. Shake it out. Shake it. Taylor Swift, shake it up. I'll be friends with Nicky Bunyan tonight. I've got a few jobs to do. I'm conscious of time, so I won't spend the long version. I'm here to let you know that the People Choice Award is closing shortly. So if you're having some troubles, please re-engage with the QR code. Secondly, in really exciting and fantastic news, it's been confirmed tonight with the support of great people that Hatch Round 4 has been confirmed for next year. So with a pre-accelerator course for July and proper Hatch 2024 will open in November, which is fantastic. I'm also here to talk about the judges and the judging processes today. I was the judge in Hatch 1. Haven't been asked back, but that's okay. It was a tough day, and my concentration span isn't that great, so it probably is a win-win. But I need to acknowledge that you'll hear from the judges themselves. Andy Marks, who's a climate change expert, leader, Anthony Gaylor, who comes from Victoria, a great sociologist, managing partner of Decade of Action, and a social designer. I don't know what that means after tonight. Alexander Holcomb, who is an initial founder of Hatch. Can you give her a round of applause for that? Wonderful. She is an angel investor and a very experienced business executive as well. And in the mix, we had Cam Kerr, who was the moderator, just to make sure people played nicely. And Christy was there as well. I bought them coffees in the morning. That's how my career is going so far. And they were excited and fresh. I saw them at the end, they were defeated. They were tired and broken. So it's been a big day, and I do thank you so much. But the hatchlings gave a live presentation, a live pitch, there was Q&As, a review documentation, business plans. It was a very, very deep understanding and a deep process, which is just fantastic given the gravity of the awards. The judges will get up and give a bit of an overview, a collaborative feedback session about each of the participants. At the end, Cam will come up and he will announce the winner and will announce the choice as well. So can I call on Cam, please, to step up and give the first bit of feedback? That'd be great. Thank you. And good luck to all the participants. Fingers are all crossed. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. And I'm not actually, I wasn't one of the judges. I was the moderator, which was, like the fly on the wall and keeping them apart when they disagreed on things. And so a great role to play. But actually, I was very lucky. I didn't have to get the gloves out or blow the whistle or do anything like that. It was fantastic. We saw a lot of alignment this year. So pretty quickly it fell out. It became obvious, and there wasn't sharing of information at first. They had their scores before they came into the room from the material that they'd been provided. They then listened, asked the questions, had done a lot of homework on their own, on the market and things like that. That's why I referred to professionalism, the commitment of the judges tonight. But then came together, played around with it, looked at it on the whiteboard, and it started to fall into place quite quickly. And I think it was really nice to see that. Then I think what was more exciting even was that the judges really tested themselves on that, and then they went back, argued, and said, "Okay, we've landed here, but is that right? What about this? What about that?" And then again, after another round, came back and decided that they landed again at the same place. So I thought that was really healthy. Some really good feedback for the future years, how we structure things and work things. So a huge round of applause to our judges for all their effort. Yeah. And thank you. Right. So, Ebony, you up first? Right.
Thank you so much, everyone, for having me. I wanted to acknowledge my respects to others. I also, given my made-up job titles, when I told my 9-year-old that I was coming to the zoo to be a judge, he asked if I was going to be on Nailed It. So if you feel very serious and like you've been judged, that's just my bit of proof. What a wonderful gig to get to be able to hear from amazing entrepreneurs doing incredible things, painting a really bright future for all of us. So thank you so much for all of the businesses that showed up to be part of this process, and thanks for inviting me to be along. I'm going to talk a little bit about 2 initiatives that I'm going to hand over to one of my trusty judge friends, and just give a little bit of feedback around our experience of these pitches, which is a bit awkward because you're in the room. But first of all, I wanted to talk a little bit about Be the Future. Sally did a really wonderful job of the pitch. I'm actually going to give this feedback 3 times. If that's okay. You all think I'm joking. So it was really clear to us from the outset that it's a very clever brand proposition that you bring to the table here. There's an absolute need in market for us to create hope, create tangible action when it comes to climate change and climate action. You've got a great engaged community on a really important issue. There's obviously been an awful lot of work that's gone into your product, the content that's wrapped around it, the characters and the stories that you're bringing to life. Really. We also think that this is potentially a saturated market, and we discussed that a little bit with you around. For a long time, we've been trying to sneak vegetables into sweets and now education into entertainment. And so there's pros and cons to that, right? Where it's a fast-moving space, and so we think in these channels people will be looking for new content all the time. So I think that's a huge opportunity for you. But we also talked about how do you keep that fresh, relevant, and front of mind for your audience. We also talked a bit about which of these massive problems are you trying to tackle? Is it reducing that climate anxiety that kids are experiencing, which is heartbreaking, or is it trying to get people to do practice? And you may very likely tackle both of these, but for business, what's the priority and where do you start as you navigate that? So congratulations, Sally, on a really wonderful business that's clearly got great momentum. Can't wait to see what happens there. The other initiative that I've got the privilege of talking about is the Reviving Cultural Practices, Tara and Beck, who's not with us tonight. Really wanted to acknowledge the brilliant initiative that you brought to life. I think we were really taken back by not just the environmental or sustainability kind of impact of this, but the social and cultural potential that a business like this has. We loved the fact that, and what a privilege to be able to draw on thousands of years of wisdom and cultural practice, and to see that in our own backyard is just a real privilege. So congratulations on that. We talked about scale, and I think often as a founder and entrepreneur, we think about scale as being the big mass market that we can reach. What we loved about this, though, was that sometimes impact and scale is about depth. We really felt that with your initiative. It's about depth in community and the kind of impact that you can create through your business model in that way. Lots of opportunity from our perspective in terms of the types of partnerships and relationships you could build. And so we talked about the hazard reduction style burning and existing kind of structures that could be linked with. And cool burning is just a brand that is a pretty great thing, you know, that's a cool name. And I think a lot could be done in that space. Really wanted to congratulate you though on a wonderful initiative, incredible courage, I think, to bring this to the front. That you have addressed a wonderful year to be bringing this to light. So thank you so much for your work. I'm not sure if that's what you wanted me to do. But that was our views as a group, and I'll throw to you, Alex, for the next ones. Maybe follow that.
Thanks, Ebony. I do hope that is what you want us to do, because that's exactly what I'm going to do now. And unlike earlier today, we followed instructions for this part of the presentation, where we were you were being kind, Cameron, a little bit more unruly earlier today, gotta say. I've been involved since the inception of this program, and I gotta say, it just keeps getting better and better. And I think it's learning through doing. The Taronga team, the mentors, clearly the sponsors, just the sheer commitment of the teams and the initiatives that are being brought to life through this program. And I think, it's a bit cliched, but, everyone who's made it into the final is a winner, because they've had just this opportunity to have this incredible experience. I don't know if you got a sense, but there are so many variables that actually we had to distill into where we landed and in the decision that we made today. And you only scratch the surface when you actually see these presentations. So actually the honor was all ours, actually getting to know even just a little bit more about founders, their commitment, their initiatives, their passion. I mean, it's palpable, and you have seen some of them, obviously in these presentations today. So I wanted to just say, from myself, but also from the other judges, thank you so much for everything you're doing for a future that is a shared one for humanity. So and never give up. So I'll be providing feedback on 2 initiatives. So One Fish, Two Fish, and Loan. So One Fish, Two Fish, seafood positive. We heard from Chris. We really, the judges really we had a very energetic, long conversation about just the fact that you're first to market with this concept. We really felt the traction that you've already achieved in not just conceptualizing, but actually bringing your initiative to life, which really stemmed from the depth of your expertise and your knowledge in this area and related areas. So you mentioned carbon offset and the work that you did there. You certainly demonstrated a thorough understanding of your product, the market, the supply chain, partners needed to make all this come together. We had a very lively conversation about pricing, as well as what should be your first target market. Should it be the chefs? Now put your money where your mouth is. We signed up 6 today. Congratulations, that's fantastic. Round of applause. But we also had a big discussion around it's 35 cents, and it doesn't come through in the presentations. Sales topic, cost 35 cents to get these 2 fish into the ocean. So how do you actually price? What industries? Where should your next? What are the next cabs off the rank to really make this financially viable in terms of initiative? And should it be cruise ships? We actually all really liked the idea of taxing passengers on the cruise ship. But anyway, even if it's $1 a passenger, so. And we all certainly agree that you are navigating some incredible complexity. Yeah, from one fish. So So I thought this was a great concept and well supported, certainly by the science. So well done you. So, yeah. So then just on loan and Emma, we were incredibly, you know, by even if it wasn't in your head, but your knowledge and firsthand experience of, sustainable fashion and really thinking through the challenges facing the industry. Your sound knowledge of the industry and the extensive research that you've actually done, but also your experience at pulling all of that together into a very clearly articulated value proposition and what, objective was very impressive. And also your understanding of competitors and collaborators and the barriers that they're actually facing. Um, and and we were also impressed by your ability, and I think it came out in the Q&A, where you actually just said, "Look, I'm not here to invent. I'm an entrepreneur, and what I want to do is actually learn from all the mistakes that have already been made, so I can just leverage that." And I do think that takes a lot because some people can get very, very blinkered and very focused, and actually really run very hard at this is the way I'm going to do it. This is my idea, um, and and it's a way of managing the potential for failure and being more resilient in terms of your operating model. We did discuss very extensively the specific and direct impact your initiative would have on the environment and how that could be measured. So I think still we were kind of left wanting in terms of wanting to hear more about how you were going to go about doing that. We were also very keen to explore whether the fixed toxic fashion, and I might add, fast fashion, would be the primary driver for client signups, or whether you were beginning to sort of pivot to more of a, I just want great fashion, and oh, by the way, I would like it to be, I don't want it toxic, and I do want it sustainable, to be sustainable. And we were just incredibly impressed with your expertise, your passion, and your enthusiasm, and you definitely convinced us as the panel that you're the founder to tackle this issue. So, so well done. So thank you for today.
Lucky last. I feel like there's great pressure here because it's really exciting after me. I'd also like to acknowledge that we're on Aboriginal land, that it always was, and that it always will be. And I'd like to just a little anecdote from my experience as a startup founder quite some time ago. That I was very fortunate to have as a mentor. And he said to me, he said, "Look, starting a new enterprise, it's like getting a rocket off the ground into space. All the energy and all the effort is going into that bit to get it off the ground. Incredible commitment, passion, dedication, resources, thinking and pain, so on, just to get liftoff. Now, all the founders that we saw today are in that getting liftoff moment. And it was incredible, humbling to hear your stories of passion, the dedication, the commitment that you're making to get your rockets off the ground. And I'm convinced that you all will. And the rocket, when it gets off the ground, the fun bit's going to really happen. Right? I know there's a lot of sweat and toil now. I'd also like to echo what Alex said, which this is my third hatch, and thank you for having me back. The other ones were amazing. It keeps on getting better. It's really incredible how, it's always a great experience to keep on reshaping how this program works. So it's a real privilege for me to be involved. So I'm going to quickly give feedback on two of the entrepreneurs, and the first one is David and Scrunch. And you are an absolute dynamo. You've got great energy, you've got great passion, and also your experience makes you think about the product at the moment of consumption and usage, but also extremely long through the process, thinking about the industry, where the industry has come from, and where it needs to go. So you bring this incredible wealth of experience. And I think what I overall think was fascinating is that you're going, there's a moment of convenience that we need to make this simple and easy. And actually, didn't say that much, but I was going, wow. I was thinking about the soft plastics that my home, our home, and we're like stuffing it and it's falling out and it's just not in a good place and it's really annoying you picking them off the ground. So you've really identified a very, very clear need. Also, we quickly touched upon the state of the industry, and it was like, oh, you know, we talked about the cycle and people feeling a bit duped and the pressure put on the consumer. But there's no doubt that this is a really incredibly important time for the waste industry. It's going through, I mean, it's gone through a lot of reckoning and it will continue to, but the money's pouring in, okay, and we know that a lot of the industry targets are not going to be met. So there's incredible pressure there. So they will be looking for new solutions and new ideas to chart their way forward. So I think you are on the money there. So I think that's fantastic. So lastly, I'll just wrap up with Alex and Rehabitat and the Habitat Pods. And you know, again, and all those boxes as well that I just mentioned in terms of somebody that is passionate, that knows about you know your background as a scientist, but also looking at a problem directly, going to where that problem is and say, I'm going to directly address it right there. So that was really brilliant. But what also I think we found was that what you're doing is so great, but you were, and it's a classic sort of startup founder imposter. Oh my goodness, can I say that? You know, what happens if you see go to a cardboard manufacturer and you say to Visio, you know, or a recycler, I want you to support this. Well, actually, you said, well, actually, well, let them take it. No, you've got it, right? You have that understanding of the biodiversity and conservation issues. You've got that incredible iconic design. I mean, you know, that the pod is amazing. You've got these incredible ideas about how you will help habitat the actual areas that have been damaged and devastated. So we felt you could really give it more confidence. And as a scientist, it can be challenging, but, you know, say it, wear it, be it, and really drive it forward. You've got an incredibly iconic, important, which is a very emotive product, because seeing those little critters, and we joked about that word, you know, all scampering around you, like your heart goes out to them. And the devastating bushfires prove it was like this, you know, a terrible thing that we all experienced, that we all know how important it is to be ready, and you're providing an incredible solution to do that. So amazing. Well done, both of you. And thanks, everybody, for getting us this far tonight.
I've got butterflies, and I know the result. Well, this is it, the night of nights. Da, 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 da. We've all seen the Bugs Bunny cartoons, haven't we? On with the show we must go. Look, I think, you know, I use, to paraphrase Margaret Mead, and I think it's so applicable to all our finalists tonight. And she said, in a sense, never doubt that a small group of passionate, intelligent, and highly motivated people will change the world, because in fact, it's the only thing it ever has. And I think 6 finalists that we've saw tonight are exactly what she's referring to. They absolutely are out there changing the world. And however things go over the next year or two, with all that lift-off challenge that Andy was referring to, love the metaphor, we absolutely have your back, and we will be supporting you all the way, because it is also important. But there has to be a winner, and the winner is Rehabitat. Alex, I think we saw this in all the presentations, but Alex, her depth of knowledge and her partnerships that she'd chosen were just really, really obvious. It was really obvious that you thought about and got scale. It was really obvious that it was a really strong business model, and it's a business model that can adapt. It was really, really clear to the judges. The methodologies for assessment of the impact, we absolutely had confidence that they are there, the skills and knowledge to do that, and it was there from the start. The intent was there from the start to go right through. And you talked a little bit about, you know, the opportunities for new product development, this wonderful base and the steps that can go on to do that. I think that was really, really powerful, and I think you know, the judges were were very, very impressed. And we're very, very excited for you. So huge congratulations. Okay.
Congratulations, Alex. Well, we are coming to the end of tonight's program, but of course, just earlier, you had your say in the People's Choice Award for our initiative this evening. We are really excited to have counted the numbers and the votes are in, but to draw this out a little bit further, I'd like to invite up Kimberly from Carapac to come and announce the winner of the People's Choice Award.
How exciting. So the winner is Rehabitat. What a night!
Well, if this is the night of nights, the Oscars of environmental initiatives, Dr. Alex, you are our Meryl Streep. So well done, well done. Well, that brings us to the end of a wonderful evening for the 2023 Hatch program. We are so thankful for everyone who contributed to this program. And as we close, I'd just like to share a few thanks as we wrap up. First and foremost, of course, a thank you to our wonderful judging panel and our funders who made tonight possible. Would you please give your appreciation? And of course, programs like this are only as good as the staff that make them happen. We've been really grateful for the work of Tom from Impact Boom over a number of years in his support of this program as well. So please give Tom a round of applause. And of course, from the variety of Taronga staff that you've seen up the front tonight, you know that this is a passion that runs deep in all of them, that working here is not just a job, it's a mission and a privilege to be a part of. Belinda, who's been part of tonight, but also Christy, who has run this program from start to finish, who's dived in and done a phenomenal job. We wanted to say a very big thank you. And I personally have got this token of our appreciation for you. And of course, last but not least, a massive thank you to our 6 wonderful hatchlings from this year's program. In terms of awards, as it turned out tonight, there was one winner, but in a way, and in I hope a real way, that each of you understand that you are winners in this program because you have taken an incredible step to dedicate your skills and talent to shaping a better future, a shared future for wildlife and for people. You've used your skills and you've put that to practice on some of the curliest, trickiest, most difficult ideas that we're facing. And you have put together 6 incredible pitches. I was blown away, and I'm sure everyone here was as well. And I hope you know that you leave tonight with a room full of cheerleaders with support and connections, and hopefully the confidence to go and get that rocket ship off the ground. So thank you very much for the privilege of sharing your journey with us and inviting us into that journey. Thank you very much to our 6 hatchling initiatives. Well done. And with that, that brings tonight to a close. I wanted to thank you all for coming and for joining us tonight, whether you're in the room or online. We can't thank you enough for your support of Taronga and the Hatch program, and we look forward to continuing your support into Hatch 2024. Thank you very much for being part of tonight.